to the top was paved by everyone. I walked all over. I realize now how I fell off the world, knowing who I was and what I become. This is how the story goes. When you fly too close to the sun, you will see, you will get shot down, crucified by your greed. Now all I own is me, no fancy cars, no company. I burned my bridges long ago. I lost the woman I love the most. The pound signs blinded my eyes. Girl, do you remember me? This is how the story goes. When you fly too close to the sun, you will see, you will get shot down, crucified by your greed.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday. And I hope you guys had a good Monday and that the weekend was good as well. So, now, tonight, well, things have been really busy. So, the great thing is that when things are really busy, over on Patreon, for some reason, my post didn't go through I usually do it at about 10 o'clock to ask everybody what they want to hear and the covers and all that kind of stuff. So my patrons only got 10 minutes warning tonight. So I did that post after realizing that actually the first one didn't go through, which was a bit annoying, but it means that we do still have basically the requests that I saw when people started replying. So thank you guys over there. And it means that we have Free Fallin' and All Right Now as the two requested cover videos for tonight. So vote for those at the top of the live chat room. And let me give a quick shout out to who's in there tonight. We have Joy, Totoro, Porco, Daisy, Tammy, Corey, Cindy, Julesy, Charlie, Billy, Bob, Muriel, Debbie, R, Vera, Ro, Jennifer, Dwayne, Harvey, Karen as well, and Vince, Angela, Laura, and now it's going through too quickly, so I can't read it. So, thank you for joining me tonight. Now, on the agenda tonight is going to be just much of the same that we do on the live streams, and there's a lot happening in the background at the moment, and this is all to do with something that, yeah, it might happen, it might not happen, and this is something that kind of news related. I mean, literally news related in terms of a national newspaper getting involved with myself and the channel and a particular video that I did recently, and yeah, things are being worked on behind the scenes, and yeah, it means that I've been doing a lot. The other thing that I've been doing a lot of, and thankfully I won't be spending this amount of time in the future on just a particular video, is my final Taylor Swift video that I did on Sunday. Yeah, it's only Tuesday, so a couple of days ago. And I said that that's going to be the last video that I'm going to do, because I spent so long, probably 3 or 4 days, getting all of the data together for that, because I just wanted to do a final video that would answer everybody's questions who are emailing me about, yeah, but what about when this happened on this show? How do you explain that? And what about this that happened, when I went to see her? How do you explain that? Everything is explained in that final video, because I watch a lot of her show, so that everything that does pop up when somebody else watched her, they can just look at that video and they'll know, oh, right, well, that's why that happened, because they must have done this considering how the show is run. So, I mean, I could have a really long troll corner tonight, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting because what some people don't realise, and we will get into that a little bit later on, but what some people don't realise is the reason that I did 3 videos is because the first video I did, somebody asked me, and they said, oh, is Taylor Swift lip syncing in the song Style? And they sent me the links and I checked it out and obviously did my analysis. And I said, yes, because the lines go over the top of each other. She's lip syncing in that song. And then the next 2 videos are because of Taylor Swift fans. And the next one was actually requested by them. And I can't say anything more clearly other than putting at the beginning of the video saying this was requested by Taylor Swift fans. So that's the reason for the next actually 2 videos. So I was just going to do 1. So yeah, it wasn't kind of somebody like me pushing an agenda of doing lots of Taylor Swift videos because I'm objective. If somebody says, oh, well, you looked at that song, but you should have looked at the next song and an acoustic song and a song on the piano when the band aren't playing. You know, if people are going to say that, then I will do an analysis video of that as well because I'm objective. I'll look at what people send me. And I think it's more the case of not liking what the results are. That's probably the problem. But anyway, yeah, I'll continue to do things in that way. Just as we start, I got a message over on Facebook, and this is Laura who sends me the links to the Pictures for Picture Corner, and she's let me know that there is, and I don't really, I'm not entirely sure what this is. It's an email address, but Laura says there's a fake email address out there that looks an awful lot like yours, and then she sent me a picture of what it is, and I'll show this up on screen because to my knowledge, this isn't somebody pretending to be me. It just happens to be somebody who has a similar email address. And you know, that there are people that might have Wings of Pegasus not knowing that it's, you know, me or the name of my channel and everything that I do. But the important thing is to look out for, I mean, here we've got Wings of Pegasus at hotmail.com, and always read things carefully. So here we've got Wings of Pegasus at hotmail.com. So as long as you just read it carefully, you can see that there are 2 S's there. And this is the kind of thing that I don't think this is a fraudulent thing, you know, emailing people. But if you do get an email that's, you know, pretending to be from me or Wings of Pegasus at hotmail.com, just make sure you read it very carefully. And I'd suggest doing that on any email that you receive. Always make sure that it is from the person that you think it is from, and it's not some kind of scam or anything. But anyway, yeah, so just look at it very carefully. This one down here, wingspegasus at hotmail.com. I don't know what the www what that would do. That would probably come back as an error or something that it won't go through. But anyway, yeah, always read it carefully. And if you do want to send a message and you really want to make sure it gets to me, go to wingsofpegasus.com and go to the contact section, because that is my website. And you can type in that website and click on it, so you know that it's kind of a giveaway because it says Wings of Pegasus, and somebody would have to set up and pay for the hosting of a fake website if they wanted to do that. So yeah, I don't think scammers are necessarily into spending money to imitate somebody, and you would know because you've typed in the name of the website as wingsofpegasus.com. So yeah, fill that out on the contact page of that site, of my site, and it will definitely get to me. So anyway, yeah, thank you for letting me know, Laura. And like I said, to my knowledge, it isn't somebody emailing lots of people with that. It just happens to be an email address that pops up that is very similar to mine. So anyway, like I said, you know, you can bypass that by just sending the message through the contact page on my website. Right, let's get back into things while skipping an advert that's trying to get involved, and let's get stuff on screen. First of all, the names of my patrons, because they make this all possible in the first place. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are, and their names go across the bottom of the screen throughout the live stream, and it's started in the random order again. It should start with sponsored by. Oh, and now it's just changed the order again. We're just going to let it play through, and at some point it'll get sponsored by the Wings of Pegasus patrons. So yeah, they are the foundation of everything that I do. As always, thank you guys for all of your support over on Patreon. Now, we also have a likes goal for tonight, and this is set at 520, and it's always the same. If we do hit that target, it means that we're going to be having a Phil Jam at the end of the live stream. And let's get the likeometer up on screen to see that we are at 285 so far. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up already. And yeah, if we get a bit of a spike, it means 220, 226 more people we are looking for to hit that thumbs up. Which means, we're over halfway, which is great. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And, of course, we have Picture Corner, but just one picture for Picture Corner, but we will be having a Picture Corner nonetheless. And, like I said, I could address a few things in Troll Corner. It might not go on for too long, so I don't know when we'll address that. I don't know whether to jump into it immediately or we'll just start the live stream as we normally do. First of all, by saying that you don't have to donate, just watching is great. And I think it's important for the people that can't resist donating that between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which is in the description below. But you don't have to donate. So thank you guys just for watching, interacting with the channel, hitting the thumbs up. You can, introduce yourself into that live chat room as well. And that's how we all get to know each other. And I get to know your usernames in there so that I can see who the regulars are. And, I mean, it's great because we have so many regulars in there. I can see, Pamela, Joe, Bob, Julesy. It's going through too quickly now. But Paul's in there as well. And Paul has donated in the Super Chat window as well. So I will quickly address these. Paul's donated $2. So thank you for that in the messages. 437,000 subscribers. Here we grow again. And we always have a bit of an announcement whenever we go 1,000 more subscribers or get. So yeah, we have gotten 1,000 more subscribers since. Actually, I don't know how many we got since the last live stream, but it couldn't have gone up by more than 1,000 since Saturday? 2 days. So yeah, thank you guys for subscribing and getting involved with the channel. And if you want to get notified for all of the videos, then you have to hit that notification bell, and then you'll see all the videos and get notified for the live streams as well. But let's shut everybody up. Karen has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, any update with Seal? And good grief, you had the patience of a saint to watch so many hours of Miss Swift. I got through it, but that was painful. So thank you for that, Karen. And this is the thing about doing objective analysis videos. You've got to, or I believe that you've got to get as much data as possible, because I was trying to answer all of the questions that I'm getting via emails so that I've covered enough of the show so that people know how it works, so then they can answer their own questions. And as I've already said, if you don't like how it works, that's nothing to do with me. I'm just pointing out how it works. So anyway, and as for any update with Seal, Seal left a message on my channel, I don't know, probably a few months ago, and I chatted to him just over the phone, like video call, a couple of times or a few times. But the problem is, as is always the case, is schedules. I mean, Seal is such a busy guy anyway, and I've got so much going on at the moment that at some point in the future, then again, it's waiting for a bit of a space or a lull where we can potentially do something. But as always, over on Patreon, I'll let you guys know as soon as anything is in the works. And that's the place to be, over on Patreon for the updates. Right, I'm just going to jump over to the PayPal window because we've had a donation over there, and this comes through from Cynthia, who donated $4.40. So thank you for that. I'm just going to make sure that that was the first donation since the last live stream. And yes, it was. So this comes with a message, and it says, who should get the Grammy if Taylor Swift wins? Her or the audio engineer? Thanks, Alonzo Bruce. Also, thank you for that, Alonzo or Bruce. This is it's almost like a Bruce Wayne name of having two, or Elton John. We can keep on going. But thank you for that, Alonzo, if that is your first name. Even that's sent from Cynthia. So anyway, thank you for the donation. And yeah, in terms of that, I mean, audio engineers and, you know, production teams, all that kind of stuff have their own different awards and things that they pick up, and they will be obviously I don't know, they will be nominated in their own category for things. But I know what you're saying. Now, actually, maybe I can weave in a bit of Troll Corner into answering, yeah, especially when this kind of thing comes up, because it is relevant to something that I received from somebody who said they were a front of house engineer, and they said they were a 5 times platinum front of house engineer. And I don't know exactly what that means. Anyway, I don't know if that means that they've been the front of house engineer when, you know, for over 5 million people that might have seen a particular show or something. I don't know. But that's just what he said in his particular comment. And he said that, I wish I would have taken a shot of his comment, but he said something like, he finished with "you should be ashamed." I remember that bit. But he said that I should have done more research into what it takes to put on a show of this size, and that I don't know what I'm talking about, and all this kind of stuff. So I replied to him to say that what I'm saying is literally explaining what's happening. I'm not going into the details of the show, like SMPTE, for example, which I call time code. Everybody calls it time code, but it stands for the Society, SMPTE, the Society of Music and P. It's a really old motion picture. That's got to be. It's really old because it was a society that looked after, motion picture and television. That's the T. SMPTE. Engineers. So there you go. I got there working out what each letter was, or what it stood for. So anyway, SMPTE is what's referred to as time code, where back in the day, the video editors would attribute kind of timings to each frame of video. This is how it worked. But now the same thing is used in music. So it's something that is, time code is a good explanation because, or a good word for it, because it's applying effectively hit points to a show. So imagine that you've got, for example, and this is why this engineer commented, because he said, you've got no idea of what goes into organizing a show like this. But I do. But I don't need to get into it for my video, because I'm pointing out what's happening with the band, what's happening with the vocals, what's happening with the backing track having a lead vocal on it, and when Autotune's being used. All of these different things, and nothing to do with time code. So anyway, what he's saying is that I should have done more research and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I actually replied to him and said that, well, if you think that what I'm saying is wrong about the backing tracks, the lead vocals, the Autotune, then you should know better, given what you do. And that is entirely true. What I'm saying in my video is entirely true, and it's objective, and I'm showing it on screen, and I'm even showing the shows, the songs in the shows synchronized, being perfectly together. So anyway, yeah, he was saying I've got no idea how much it takes to put on a show, and I do. So what happens is that 3.5 hour show has been programmed, and this is what he's talking about. It's a hell of a lot of work to do that. I'll tell you what's a hell of a lot less work is just playing live. Because if you don't have to worry about it, and you're just playing your instruments and you're singing, and you might have somebody just triggering, the fireworks or, the other things that might be going off, and the lights, and this is all stuff that's time coded. Even change of cameras can be time coded, and I think it is on Taylor Swift's. I'd be surprised if it isn't. But on the big screen, they change angle at the same time throughout the 3.5 hour show. So having something that is that pre-programmed, you can imagine, takes a hell of a lot of work. And this is what the person is saying, that I haven't mentioned any of that, but it's irrelevant to what I'm pointing out. And I don't know whether people would see that as even, maybe a negative thing. That it's all been pre-programmed to the second that, right, this is going to happen for the 3.5 hours, and we just literally roll it out every night. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's not for me to say, but yeah, I know that he wants a little bit of recognition as a front of house engineer into how much work they put into it. But again, it's nothing to do with the music side of it. You're talking about automation that is pre-programmed, that you have to effectively, not write out, but program yourself to every second. So yeah, that is a lot of work. So anyway, I also said to him that I know that if he is indeed a front of house engineer in the music industry now, I know that his hands are tied, that he can't say anything agreeing with what I'm saying, because effectively it means that he's going to get less jobs and less job offers in the future, because it's all stuff that people, and I think record labels don't want people to know, that it's all pre-programmed, that they're thinking that people are thinking that they're going to see a show that is potentially going to be just one show that nobody else is going to see, and it's going to be totally personal to them, but then if they find out that, it's all pre-programmed to sound exactly the same at that point and that point, and it might lose a bit of the charm. But anyway, that was just something about, because it was relevant to this. And yeah, again, somebody who is saying that they've got those qualifications, they will know that what I'm saying is true, and that's the irony of it. That deep down he knows what I'm saying is true, but he's annoyed that I haven't mentioned the amount of work and effectively given a shout out to the engineers and the people that have made the show happen. But again, I don't know whether that's a positive or a negative thing in the eye of Joe Public, having something that's so pre-programmed. But anyway, thank you for that donation. And moving on, we have a donation from Cindy, who's donated £50 as well. So thank you for that, Cindy. And the message is, hi Phil, do you think there were so many Autotune malfunctions in the Taylor Swift videos you looked at because of Autotune settings, her being too far off the right note, or a combination? Thanks. So thank you for that, Cindy. And if you use Autotune and you feed Autotune something that is closer to one note than the other note, it will always snap it to the correct note. And that's how it works. That is what Autotune is. Sometimes you can set the scale, and I'm talking many years ago now, so I'm sure that this would have changed, where you might even be able to set a particular scale and miss out particular notes if those notes aren't part of your melody for the song that you're performing. So with Autotune, it malfunctions when it hears something that it thinks you wanted a different note, and the input for that will be being closer to that note. So if I went na like that, Autotune will grab that and take any tiny variation that I did and stick it directly over that line. If I now go ah and I don't quite hit that note, guess what? The Autotune is going to flip. So it means that it's going to hit the note below and then come back up to the note, and that's where you get that that kind of dodgy. I say it's a malfunction, but it is functioning exactly how it's been programmed. It doesn't know the note that you want. So there's a point at which it even went to 3 notes, which means that the input, i.e. the noise that was made, covered 3 semitones, so it tried to snap it to all of those. And that actually was happening on what should have been a held note. And then I looked at the footage, and at that particular point, Taylor was she'd just done a lot of walking quite briskly. So it means that at the end of that walk, obviously being a little bit out of breath, it means that maintaining the note is something that wasn't going to be possible, or wasn't possible at that time. And Autotune has taken the noise that she made when trying to hit that note and obviously snapped it to 3 notes. So technically it's not a malfunction of Autotune, but that kind of thing I refer to as Autotune malfunctioning or not being reliable, because if you miss a note, if you are really far off, it is going to do that, and it's not going to sound particularly good. yeah, that's ultimately the problem with Autotune. If you are going to rely on it heavily, you're going to have to make sure that you get close to each note of the melody of the song. You have to make sure you do that. Otherwise, yeah, it will just snap it to whatever you are closest to. So, yeah, that is it. It's not really a case of Autotune. Autotune will do its job. But anyway, let's move on, because Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, hi Phil, catch up crew for me tonight. Wishing you and all of the wingers a fabulous live stream, Sue. So thank you for that, Sue. And Tammy's donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. The message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 437,000 subscribers. Thank you kindly for all you do for us and your channel. You're the best. Love and rock. So thank you for that. And Lisa W has donated £2. Thank you for that, Lisa. And Lisa says cheers. And Debbie has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on 437,000 subscribers. Thanks for all the great informative videos you do. It is much appreciated. The final Taylor Swift one was epic. You're the best. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Steve's donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, Steve. The message is, what differences make you prefer a Strat or an Ibanez over a Les Paul or other guitars? So thank you for that, Steve. And I'd say this is just sticking to what I know because I've never had a Les Paul. So I mean, my first guitar was a Tanglewood Nevada, and that was like a Strat copy. Well, I say that the body of it is hollow, so it's a very light guitar. So yeah, it's a very cheap guitar, as you could tell. My first electric guitar, I mean. So yeah, the kind of look to it, but getting into Jimi Hendrix, of course, yeah, Fender Strats is just the avenue that I went down, and then with Ibanez guitars, watching players like Steve Vai and John Petrucci as well. They played guitars that were more about playability and had a lower action and all this kind of stuff. And it's a similar kind of thing. Once I started watching players like Eddie Van Halen and Red Beach from Winger, and these guys that were playing guitars that weren't Strats. So then I started to kind of go down that avenue, and yeah, I got my Ibanez Geo because I was looking for something. I was actually gigging with my Fender Strat, but then I was looking for something that had a little bit more attitude to it, even though I put that dual blade pickup on my Fender Strat. But anyway, yeah, it just happened to be an Ibanez that I went for, and I really liked the way that it played, and obviously it had the Floyd Rose bridge as well. So yeah, that was probably more suited to my sound, like hard rock, which is my music and the kind of style that I play. I think if I was maybe, I don't know, more of a kind of blues guitarist or something like that, then I might have leaned more towards a Les Paul, possibly, but then again, I don't know. And then even having said that, you've got the whole Slash thing, playing a Les Paul. So yeah, it just happens to be what I started with, being a Fender Strat, and then what I went into and got into kind of afterwards when I was playing live with my band and needed a more aggressive sound. And yeah, Les Paul just wasn't a guitar that I've ever had or own, to this day. So thank you for that, Steve. So we have another donation, and this is Miss Envy Phipps. So thank you for that donation. It's £5. The message is, hi Phil, what do you think of actually bands, not pop singers, like Falling in Reverse, who admit they use backing tracks on tour? Love what you do, by the way. So thank you for that. And I mean, this depends, because back in the day, you would have bands who would have another element there, like Queen, for example, having keys and just having it slightly off stage. So actually, if you're at the right angle, you could see that there were keys being played, but not by Freddie Mercury. I mean, they've got the 3-piece and the keys adding in the extra elements that you would have. But actually, on Bohemian Rhapsody, I know that they use backing track elements for that, because of course you can't do all of that stuff live, and I think a lot of people probably appreciated that for most of the gig, you know, you're going to get their 3-piece sound with some keys put in there. And I don't know why, but my brain will not give me Spike's surname, who played keys with Queen. It's really annoying. So maybe somebody can let me know. This is something that happened when I was chatting with Warren this week. He was exactly the same as me, that he was talking about different people and different bands and members of bands and different producers, and he couldn't get their surnames. And it's something that's happened to me. So, or maybe somebody, if you don't know who I'm talking about, you can type it in to Google. But yeah, for Edney. So thank you for that, Pocket Mum. So yeah, when I said Spike, I was talking about Spike, who plays keys, or played keys, you know, with Queen, and you could kind of see him in the background there supplying that extra little bit of, you know, what would have been on the album, but that filling sound, you know, for when, you know, Brian might go off into a solo and just have a little bit in there, a little bit of keys, which makes such a difference. But anyway, so because it's been a regular thing, I think now having a backing track, it depends. I think that if it means that you have something on your album and you really want a particular sound, and like I said, I've played with the backing track before, because the bassist pulled out of the gig like a few days before we were about to play, so then I had to make a backing track with I played the bass of my whole, you know, set, and had to then use that, and it was an absolute nightmare, which I've said before, because back in those days, trying to use a computer to play a backing track, yeah, the computers weren't like they are now, where they're fast and they can process data really quickly. I mean, now I could record the whole backing probably on Logic Pro 10 and have it run in real time, you know, from my, you know, my MacBook Pro, or, you know, any laptop probably now, because they're so powerful. But back in the day, I had to hope that it loaded. So it definitely wouldn't have been my preference to use a backing track live, because there's every chance that the backing track and the bass can just stop because it's you know, had that circle of death loading it backstage. So absolute nightmare. But nowadays, yeah, I don't really have too much of a problem with people using it, maybe for keys, and they don't have a keys player, especially for independent bands, because paying for session musicians, again, is a nightmare. You're looking at paying them, and I know because I've done this in the past, paying them, you know, £40 minimum for a rehearsal. So if you've got a couple of session players, you're looking at £80. What's that? $120 per rehearsal. So a couple of rehearsals a week, if you've got a big show coming up, that's $240. You've got to pay for the rehearsal yourself as well, which is another, what, $40, $50, but it's £40. So what, $60? So you're looking at $300 a week just to rehearse for a show. So if you as the musician can make a backing track and think, well, I can play that element on my album, so I'll put that on a backing track, and if you know it's all going to run fine, you're saving yourself, you know, $300 or $400 every week. And, you know, I was lucky in that I, for those gigs, had members of the band anyway, so they were used to playing the set, and I didn't have to pay them to do it, because they, you know, knew it and just liked performing live. So yeah, that's the way that we did it, but we all had to rely on this backing track bassist to actually load. So yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with it. What I would say is, as soon as a backing track has a lead vocal, that's now the song. So that's what I class as now. Well, it's not backing. You have a backing band. In your backing band, you don't have the lead vocalist who's also standing there with a mic and you're hearing his voice, because then what's the point of you at the front of the stage if you're singing? Because the other guy's doing it, so you are now surplus to requirements as the singer. So yeah, I don't class having lead vocals on a backing track as a backing track, because it's not, it's just the song. If you were to play that to somebody, they would say, I love this song. They wouldn't say, I love this backing track, you know. So yeah, that's something that I think that when you get to that level, and we're not talking about backing anymore, then that's a different thing. But for bands that are using backing tracks for elements that are bits that they physically can't play live, then yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. So anyway, thank you for that. And Karen has donated £3.73, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, I found this quote from the writer Miguel de Cervantes, he who sings frightens away his ills. Do you agree, disagree, believe there's any truth to this? I appreciate your dedication and contributions to music and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So it just reminded me of a sketch in The Office where David Brent is interviewing one of his employees, and he says, yeah, on a scale, he says, he's asking him a question, like a questionnaire, and the answers are agree, disagree, or don't know. And he always chooses don't know. Just reminded me of that. Agree, disagree, believe. But anyway, he who sings frightens away his ills. I don't know. I think that there are lots of things. Some people say he who plays golf. It's just things to relax, really, to take your mind off things. So, yeah, for some people it might be singing. And, yeah, I don't know. What I do find is something that I don't do, but some people do it. And, I don't know, I find it a little bit weird. When I was in a queue recently, and the person in front of me was whistling. And it was a long queue. And they weren't really whistling anything. It was just not even a melody, not a song, just going. And it was kind of random and it didn't have any melody to it. But he was whistling actually louder than that. And I was stood behind him and I thought, this is a bit weird, because what if I started whistling and then somebody else started whistling? And what if somebody started singing and another person started singing? You'd have this cacophony of noise that would start. And some people might find that a bit annoying. So, yeah, I don't know. For him, he might have been quite happy and think, oh, right, well, I'm going to whistle and I don't care whether people like it or not. But for me, I think in general life, and I know that I'm getting sidetracked here, but I think in general life, as a rule of thumb, I think that if you don't, step on somebody else's toes, in any kind of sense, making a noise that somebody might not like, or, imposing your view on someone or wanting somebody else to have the same view as you. I think if we all go through life just respecting each other and thinking, oh, actually, somebody might not like what I'm doing here, because they might be trying to concentrate on something, like reading something, and they've got this whistle might put them off. So I think, yeah, for me, I know that people do whistle, but I always think that that's a potential. You're making somebody hear something that they might not want to hear. And that can go for lots of different things. You can make all kinds of noises that other people might not want to hear. So it's that little bit of, I guess, consideration for other people. And it's a kind of a rule of thumb that I have for life is, as long as, you do what you do and you're not going to infringe upon somebody else with your noise or with what you're talking about, or talking really loudly and or being rude and ignoring people, all this kind of thing. If we all go through life just respecting each other, then I just found it a little bit weird, because it wasn't just whistling for 20 seconds or 30 seconds. In the queue, I would have said it was 10 to 20 minutes maybe of constant whistling. And it probably makes it worse that it wasn't a melody. I was thinking, at least give me something. Give me something that I can hook onto so I know what you're whistling. But anyway, thank you for that, Karen. But yeah, I guess maybe he who whistles frightens away his ills, but potentially annoys everybody else. So thank you for that, Karen. And obviously people are going to agree or disagree with my point of view. But I think just as society, if we all just maintain silence. If you're silent, you can't offend anybody. Because nobody's ever got annoyed at silence. Like when somebody goes for a walk, and they might go for a walk with their dog, and they go, oh, this silence is really annoying me. I've never heard anybody say that when they've been out. Somebody saying, oh, well, can you shout in my face, please? Because I don't like how quiet it is on this relaxing walk that I'm having. What you do have is awkward silences in other situations that are more formal, but that's not the same thing. Queuing up for something is definitely a different scenario. yeah, well, I wonder what everybody else thought. I think other people were maybe, a little bit more annoyed than I was, looking at the body language of people in the queue. But anyway, thank you for that, Karen. Interesting point of discussion for that, even though I got sidetracked. And Angela has donated £14.90. So thank you for that, Angela. And the message is, hi Phil, would you please explain briefly what a sus and diminished mean when playing guitar? Much appreciated. Okay, right, these explanations always turn into, and I know it's already 1:45 midnight and we have the cover video to still get through, and I'm just having a look at the Phil Jam track that I've been sent. It is number 187 and it's 6 minutes 52, so that's going to be a long one as well. So just very quickly, sus, first of all, is like a suspended note. So it's like when you have like a sus2 or a sus4, if you take, this is okay, I might answer this in two halves. So first of all, sus means that sus2, for example, when I say that in a video, it means you take your second note of the chord that you're playing, and say for example we're playing in A. Again, this is going to be a little bit complicated, but it's going to be a B. So the second is the B of your particular scale. And if we're playing, for example, I'm going to grab the guitar here. It's not even plugged in. So one that I mention all the time, you might not even be able to hear this. So right, I'll explain this and do it very quickly. So the sus2, yeah, I said sus2. So, for example, on a D, don't know if you can hear this, but I'm taking off my second finger, and you'll hear that the chord has changed. I've now got this second note of the scale in there. So, and if I'm playing through the scale, I should have probably grabbed the acoustic. Can you even hear this? Oh, Billy says can't hear. So, put that away, grab the acoustic, and my electric is plugged in, but it's probably not going to be very good to show you what I'm talking about. And I haven't got a pick. So we're going fingerstyle. So here we go. We have our D here. We're just about in tune. And I'm taking off my second finger. Hopefully you can hear this. And, I mean, this is a classic kind of James Taylor thing. Oh, he actually did it, kind of hammer-ons and pull-offs. That kind of thing. But anyway, getting sidetracked. Right, so, taking off that second finger. If I'm playing through the scale... I don't know if you can hear this. I'm trying to kind of over-pick it. Plucking the string. But that's the major scale that I've played through. So I've gone 1, 2. And remember that note. That is the E. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to take my word for it. So that's what we're doing. We're going down to the second note of the chord. And the reason that it's a sus, it's a suspended note. So it means that we're going to, once you play that, you're going to be resolving back to where you started, because this is our chord. And you might have noticed that I did a sus4 there. Kind of like that. So, guess what the sus4 is? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fourth note of the scale, so that's it. 2, 4. D, like that. So, that is that. Now, I'm looking at the time because I know we've got picture corner. I know that we've got troll corner a little bit. Right, what we're going to do is I'm going to jump into, and it's free falling. I think that's quite a long cover as well. I'm going to end free falling the vote in the live chat room. We're going to jump into that. And then we are going to be jumping into the... Oh, I'm still... Right, we'll do this. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you guys for requesting this over on Patreon. Race Against Time, my version of the Tom Petty Free Falling classic, of course. And I'll see you guys after. Rock!
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, she's crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too. And it's a long day living in Reseda, and there's a freeway running through the yard. I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. And I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free falling. All the vampires walking through the valley move west and down Ventura Boulevard. And all the bad boys standing in the shadows, and the good girls are home with broken hearts. And I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free falling. I wanna glide down over Mulholland. I wanna write her name in the sky. I'm gonna free fall out into nothing. I'm gonna leave this world for a while. And I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free falling. Free falling. And I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free
And there we have it. That was my version of the Tom Petty classic, And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Free falling, of course. Right, now, what was I doing? I was answering a guitar question. I didn't finish the guitar question, and I put the guitar down because I went to get my water, which I got. So, right, quickly, what did we have? It was a hi Phil. Would you please explain briefly what a sus and diminish? Right, so yes, a diminished chord is, I'm going to play a diminished one. Ooh. Hopefully you can hear this. And what's the time? So what we're doing here, I'm going to try and explain this really quickly. So with a diminished chord, you might be able to hear that we've got our A on the bottom, and if I was playing a standard A major chord like that, what you'd have with diminished is the minor third, and on guitar 1, 2, that would be your major third, but you kind of stay on the low E string in order to get that. And because it's, on your low E string, but you need your root note, that's why, when we get up to the top, we have our minor effectively there. So that's why. So on guitar, it's going to be different if you play this on piano, but you have your root, your fifth, and then that's the octave of your root note, so that's an A as well. And there, hopefully you can hear the difference. I hope you can hear this. Obviously, I'm hitting the strings a bit hard, so you can hopefully hear it. So, major, minor. So, you want to be in your minor chord here, and I lose my train of thought. Probably you're going to be barring over the guitar in order to try and get a clean sound. And Alexis, I can hear it. Just fine, which is good. So, what you want to do, and you'll have to kind of work your fingers into this kind of position. I don't know whether you can see it, because what we want to do is, when I said about the fifth, you got your root note here and your fifth, you want to take that down. So, we're kind of flattening the fifth, or flat 5, which actually, as I've mentioned many times before, is the devil's chord. So, that's the kind of shape you want to aim for. So, the way that you want to try and work it out is that if you imagine that your minor chord, if I was playing it like this, you've now got to try and figure out a way in order to get that note, and that's why you bring this second finger over. And obviously we still want that G to ring out. I mean the G string, what I'm talking about here. So if we're playing this, and technically it's a C, but and you can also place your little finger up the top there. So I'm talking 7th fret, B string, like that, to kind of get that. It's not really a chord that you're going to be using, just by itself. You're going to be transitioning from one chord to another chord using that. Let me try and think of a song. If I've done that in a song, I might have done. Hang on. Did I go I went diminished at some point. Yes! It's Art Nor Commerce. There you go. And actually it would have been, it wouldn't have been in standard tuning. It would have been a semitone lower because I detuned for that song. But anyway, so there you go. You can hear it in Art Not Commerce, one of my songs, diminished chord. But yeah, what it is, you just want to take that fifth just down, and obviously make sure you're playing that minor third as well. So anyway, that is going to be that, and put this away while wrecking everything at the same time. I hope that answered the question. I'm not sure whether it did, or at least I'm not sure whether I've explained it clearly enough. Angela says, thank you for briefly explaining, inverted commas. So yeah, this is the thing, when it's difficult sometimes to think of how can I explain this without just losing lots of people and not really knowing what I'm talking about. So I always find that saying and by the way, when I say about the fifth and the root note being like 1, if you were assigning a number to the scale, the root note would be number 1. And when I talk about the sus2, that would be the second when you're playing through the scale. So when you're playing through the minor scale, again, if you attribute numbers to that scale, then you'll find, or you'll know what I'm talking about when I'm saying about the fifth, and then kind of the octave effectively is going to be that root note but repeated. So then you start the next octave. So anyway, let's move on, because so thank you for that, Angela, and very long reply for that, split into 2 halves. And Karen donated £1.12. So thank you for that, Karen. The message is, Phil, this is from Chipper. He appreciated your whistling. Now he's whistling away. Laugh out loud. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. And right, we have Picture Corner as well. So let's quickly jump into that. I'm just trying to remember everything that I'm supposed to be doing. So let's jump into that and see what's going on in Picture Corner tonight. Well, this is... we've only got 1 picture tonight, so let me get this on screen. Here we go. So, this has been sent in by Vince, so thank you for this, Vince. And the message is, here's my bass cases compartment. Notice the wings of Pegasus picked in. Oh, it just disappeared. Hang on, let me try and get this back. There we go. It just decided it wanted to disappear. So... let me start that again. Here's my bass cases apartment. Notice the wings of Pegasus picked in. What's in your instrument cases? Junk drawer. So thank you for that. And in my junk drawer, which, well, bass players, guitarists will know that you have this little... I don't know, I've never really called it a drawer, but you have this little section in your case where it looks exactly like the picture, where you just put random stuff in. The thing that I do have in there... which actually we can come out of, well, we kind of get the picture with the picture. Thank you for sending that in, Vince, and Laura for linking me to it. But the reason that I'm getting rid of it is because I have this in my drawer. I don't know what it's... Because a drawer here in the UK, it means it slots out a drawer, whereas it's more of a box kind of thing that opens from the top. But anyway, so... what I have is, this, which is basically most of the stuff that you could see in Vince's case. So, if I open this up, so it doesn't kind of all fall over the place. I mean, there might be a set of strings in there, obviously, just in case the worst happens live. But what I tend to do is always kind of change my strings, even when they don't need changing, to make sure that, you don't break a string live. And... I've never broken a string live, so I think it works. Oh, Milkestra says compartment. That's a lot better. that's the word that explains what I'm talking about. So all this kind of stuff, little brush there, which I actually got in a Christmas cracker, and it's perfect for cleaning frets. So you can grab it like that, make your guitar nice and clean. So there you go. For the tougher jobs, a tiny bit of and use that sparingly. You don't want to kind of push too hard with this, but this is probably for my really old my first guitar, kind of keeping it in sync, so in sync with being clean. But this what's that, wire wool, so use that sparingly. This for tuning, so you put that over your machine head. So all of this stuff, and obviously multiple tuning forks of different sizes. Tuning forks? Allen keys. It's not a tuning... Do I have a tuning fork in here? I don't know if I do. It's a bit of a mess. Screwdriver. So I've got loads of stuff in here. So stuff that, if I need to actually take the guitar apart somewhat, then I can do. We've got kind of a spare whammy bar in there as well. This is almost like Harry Potter, when they... or Doctor Who. In the TARDIS, when it looks small on the outside and they go in, and if you've got all of this space, and it's this case is basically like that, because look what else we've got. Pliers in here. And these are good for obviously changing strings and kind of grabbing things if you need to. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Ooh, what have we got there? No. Oh, this is for acoustic guitar, and again, the surprises keep on coming. Pegs for acoustic guitar. So this goes into the bottom of the acoustic guitar, just in case you need to change a string. You use this to lever out the pegs. And, I mean, these are just spare pegs. So, yeah, that's for acoustic guitar. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm not going to explain everything that's in this, but there's a lot of stuff in it. There you go. And a very long answer again to a very short question. So thank you for sending that in, Vince. And, by the way, I'm just quickly going to address the donations that happen in the Super Chat window. And the messages... Oh, I can see there's been a few. So, Long Island Hillbilly donated $19.99. Thank you for that. And the message was, thanks for all your hard work and great musical talent you share. So, thank you for thinking that I have great musical talent. Or that you like the videos of sharing great musical talent as well. So thank you for that. Karen's donated $10 as well again, and says, what's your opinion of how David Gilmour has such a masterful, distinctive and emotional sound with his guitar style? And is he in your top 5 greatest? So thank you for that. And I don't do kind of greatest lists or, you know, top 10 or top 100s because guitarists are so different. But yeah, I mean, David's just a classic case of just not trying to play like anybody else. He just does what he does. And I think the best guitarists, or the ones that sell the most and are most popular around the world, they just do what they do. They're not trying to play every one of somebody else's techniques. They're just playing. But David certainly has that appreciation of vibrato as well, being able to suit the mood of what he's playing in order to either use his whammy bar and vibrato on frets as well. He's always kind of changing up that vibrato and slowing it down for slower pieces, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of levels to it, but yeah, David certainly just sounds like he sounds, which is what you can say about great guitarists. But thank you for that. Diamond Girl has donated $5 as well, and the message is for the wonderful guitar demo. So thank you for that. Yeah, it kind of didn't quite start out well without you being able to hear what I was doing because I was using a guitar that wasn't plugged in. Sky's donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Sky. And the message is rock and rule. So thank you for that. Elaine's donated $2 and says, thanks for the acoustic break. Loved it. So thank you for that, Elaine. And Jangles has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, hey, Phil and chat, been a subscriber for a while, but this is the first live and I've thoroughly enjoyed. Oh, thanks, Scott. So thank you for that, Scott. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the live stream. Quickly, over on Patreon, we've got a donation from Sylvia for £10. So thank you for that, Sylvia. And that's a straight up donation. Now, what have I forgotten to do? I feel like I've forgotten to do something. I mean, we are going to be having the Phil Jam. I haven't forgotten that. But if you're watching this in the future on Catch Up, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. Really does help the live stream to get out there. And for the channel to grow on the whole. Now, we did Picture Corner. Oh, we haven't done Troll Corner. But, very quickly. Taylor Swift fans who say, oh, one person said you've done 5 videos just because you're after clicks and all this kind of stuff. So I said, well, no, I've done 3. And the second and the third one were requested by Taylor Swift fans. So there you go. So people that can't count, I said, unless you're counting the one I did on the Bryan Adams video and the Michael Jackson one, are you counting that as Taylor Swift videos? I don't know. Another person said, oh, you've done 4 videos just chasing views and clickbait and all that kind of stuff. And again, I've done 3 and 2 of those were requested. I did actually say to somebody that Taylor Swift's fans requested 2 of them. So go and tell them to stop requesting them. And yeah, this is the thing that when I do objective videos, of course, I'm going to look at things. Oh, and finally, I think one person said about Dua Lipa that what I was saying was lying. And quickly, I took a picture of this so that I could mention it. Could I find this somewhere? It's on my phone somewhere, so bear with me. Here we go. So it says, Yeah, Dua Lipa does sing 100%. You clearly do not know what you're talking about. The verses of her live performances do not have any backup track or support vocals. So, and again, in my video, I'm just pointing out what is happening. So I'm not saying that she can't sing or she doesn't sing. I'm saying that what we're hearing here is the vocal from and that was actually the vocal from the recording, the official release. So yeah, anyway. A person commented underneath and said, "This is the truth right here. This video is a clickbait, unfair scam." And yeah, somebody, the same person said, "She travels with backup singers for harmony who sing harmony on certain songs on key phrases." I did reply to say that it's clearly her voice that's been multi-tracked, 3, 4, 5 times. You can hear it's Dua Lipa's voice. It's not a backing vocal, because backing vocalists sound different to the lead vocalist. So anyway, and then she says, "This is such a song, but in the dark grainy video," and then says in brackets, "or did he intentionally darken it? He can't even see her backup singers, which she travels with. Watch any of her live performances." So yeah, again, so I mean, unfortunately, that shows you the kind of level that the person is saying that is insinuating that I've intentionally darkened the video so you can't see the backing singers. And I replied to them saying that when you watch a performance, even if there are backing singers there, it doesn't necessarily mean that the voices you're hearing are theirs. I've seen loads of performances, especially on TV, where they're not actually singing, it's a backing track, but you still have the backing singers there. So yeah, again, but people thinking that I'm editing the videos to try and hide backing singers, and I said that just go and click on the link and you'll see how bright or dark the video is, because I'm using that video. Everything you can go and check. So yeah, I guess some people just don't like the results. They might be a Dua Lipa fan and they don't like the results of what I'm pointing out. But anyway, that's it. I'll keep doing it, because and other people that say, "Oh, this analysis was unfair." It's like it's actually the opposite. It can't be more fair. It's objective. Yeah. I think I had that with Taylor Swift fans saying that, "Oh, it's unfair that you focused on this video," and then they sent me the other songs to focus on, and again the next song was lip synced and then live auto-tune on the other songs. That's why I did that final video. Right, we're going to click on this because I clicked on it, and here we go. So this is I've got the gem. We're going to play with the gem. This is and this is a bit of a cheat because I know this song. This is called "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" jam. Guitar backing track, A minor in brackets, and this is from Now You Shred Backing Tracks. So thank you for this, Joe. And I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but hopefully you can hear this. Let me see. I can hear it. Oh, yeah. Zoom out. Should we start a little bit clean first, maybe? Can you hear this? Oh, I haven't turned on the mic, that's why, no sound. Can you hear this? that's better. Oh, there we have it, a kind of fast ending, fade out type stop thing. But there we have it, right. Now the problem that I had through that solo, you can't see this, but my phone, my phone kept getting in the way. So the headstock of the guitar was hitting my phone and moving things all over the place. But it doesn't matter, it is what it is. Obviously, yeah, that was While My Guitar Gently Weeps Jam. Probably should have had the Strat for that, but we've got to work with what we've got, and that is from Now You Shred backing tracks. So yeah, thank you, Joe, for sending me that my way. But I think, again, everybody knows that backing track, so yeah, it's very easy to follow. But yeah, I do enjoy the ones where there's just chord changes that I don't know are coming, and then you can work your way through it. And I mean, yeah, there's something. I'm sure that lots of people would work out a particular solo for that epic tune, but there you go. It is what it is. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that. I'm going to be live streaming on Saturday night, of course. So yes, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible. A very important part of life itself. Try to stay as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!